What came to my mind with this particular question about why it is so easy for people to be undisciplined, it almost reminds me of like pornography, right? Because nobody, you go and you get the latest purse, sneakers, car. Nobody is, whatever it is. And hey, there's a place and a time, like, right? I want to make sure we're not coming across as like, oh, you can never have anything nice. No, but there's a discipline and there's a muscle that you have to build to make sure that your heart posture is right before certain things, right? But yeah, so similar to pornography, right? It's something that can be hidden, and it's not something that people often ask you about. So you might drive the latest, whatever it is, have the latest sneakers and whatever, but when people see those things, they don't say, hey, how did you afford that? Do you have debt or did you lease that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a sin. Like, being undisciplined with your finances is a sin that can brew in darkness. People only see the outward appearance of, how you could be spending your money, but you don't have to tell people or be transparent about the fact that, like, hey, everything you see is on a credit card. And no, I don't have a plan to pay it back. So I think it is a sin that can easily...
Instead of people don't tell you that.
Well, right. So yeah, it's something that can brew in darkness, just like pornography. I mean, we don't walk around asking people, which we've actually had a conversation about this, and I won't get like too much in depth. But I was like, have you ever asked so-and-so if they watch pornography? And you were like, So it is one of those things that's like, you just don't do that. You just don't ask people around you, hey, are you watching pornography? Are you struggling with pornography? It's something we should ask, right? Like, as Christians, because sin is sin, right? And we focus so much on the sin that is outward and like that you can see, right? If I can hold hand with something that the Bible calls a sin, I'm quicker to call it out than to like really ask you questions that might make you uncomfortable, but are really for your good. So like, hey, I know that you're struggling, your debt is mounting up, like, let's talk about it, right? Let's put the numbers down. What can we do? Is there anything we can do, right? So I feel like that's one of the reasons it's so easy. And the church, I don't recall ever sitting in church. And again, just to be clear, I didn't grow up in church, but it's been years now, right, that I walk with Christ. And I don't know that I've ever sat in sermons where it's being talked about, like they'll talk here and there about like, hey, no sex before marriage, as if that's the only part of our walk that matters, right? Like, no, walking with God, as we said previously, like, we're called to be disciples, which are disciplined followers of Christ. And that's every aspect of our lives. So if you know that I'm struggling with my finances, you as a fellow believer, and especially, a good friend, you should ask me about that. And obviously within, I'm not saying to just walk around and ask all your coworkers like, hey, can you really afford those sneakers? No, but I think there should be space for that, but it's not normalized. So I think that's why it's a sin that can easily like brew, because it really is in darkness. And it's up to us to like bring it out to light. So yeah, that's where my mind went with it. But